You know, depending on how you frame it, maybe the kid was just trying to help the officer with a bath, you know, and he was doing a good thing. Welcome back, beautiful and amazing human beings. This is Luke Rudowski here of WeAreChange.org. And man, oh man, do we have some wild stories for you here today. As right now, there's a missing ABC journalist that was looking into some precarious things. The British government is preparing for the worst. This as Stacey Abrams has some unconventional ways of making it by. All of this, as of course the major news today, is that Vladimir Putin has just announced martial law inside of 4 regions in Ukraine, as of course his General Armageddon, yes, that's his real literal nickname, is now preparing for a major southern offensive that is going to be taking place in the city of Kherson. Lots to explain here, lots going on, lots of different strategies, lots of crazy news also with the US military, and we're going to get into it, plus a lot more. And if you like the shirt that I'm wearing right now, you could get it on thebestpoliticalshirts.com, and the clip that we started off this broadcast with was just shared randomly by some user named AnarchoCarax, or I hope I got that right. And I saw it, and I couldn't resist not playing it. I don't know who originally created it. If you know who did, let me know, and of course we will credit them down in the description below. And whether if it's a skit or a gag or whether it's real life, it is absolutely freaking hilarious. And we definitely do need to laugh, because otherwise you'll be crying with what is happening, especially in the United Kingdom, which looked like the introduction video was from, where now their nationalized television station is preparing secret scripts for possible winter blackouts. Yes, this is according to The Guardian, from an exclusive report about scripts they found out about that will do their best to try to reassure the public during the middle of winter that it's going to be totally fine if there's a major power loss. And it's not. It would be devastating. Pipes would burst. People would die. There would be tremendous amounts of human suffering. Calamity would ensue. And why are we here? Well, of course, I've been talking about this forever. This is a part of the Great Reset. This is a part of the Build Back Better policies that we have seen being pushed forward throughout the last few years, all in the name of protecting the environment, that has led us to this situation, as of course there's a deliberate action by many elites to limit energy in order to limit humanity, according to my own personal opinion. But let's not underscore here the severity of the situation in the United Kingdom, in Europe right now, which is very severe and is expected to get a lot more severe throughout the next few years. As of course the Wall Street Journal even talks about, there's a big possibility that there will be major winter blackouts, as there's a lack of gas, there's a lack of energy. There was the sabotage of the gas stream Nord pipeline, which of course is going to limit more energy coming to Europe, and the situation that people are facing there is very real. It's something that, of course, people should be taking seriously. I've been telling people on my platforms specifically, hey, it might be a good time to try to maybe even relocate, as of course the major financial calamity will happen to the outside world, but of course is also coming here inward to the United States. This, as almost the price of everything has been going up dramatically. There's massive inflation. The U.S. Federal Reserve is literally printing money out of thin air and just giving it to their friends at BlackRock. All of this as politicians who shill for the larger financial establishment, bamboozling the world. Individuals like Stacey Abrams are now on national television on MSNBC and suggesting that ending the life of your unborn baby, of an unborn human being, is a, quote, way to fight inflation. I kid you not. This is straight from the Georgians' Democratic mouth, saying, quote, specifically, having children is why you're worried about rising prices. And, quote, you can't separate unwanted pregnancies from economic issues. An absolutely absurd notion that again highlights the utter depravity of some of these political establishment hacks that absolutely want to create more pain and havoc by spending more money that the government doesn't have on their little pet projects that actually cause more inflation. And inflation is so bad that even the family of George Floyd has just announced that they will be suing Kanye West for $250 million, even though Kanye West donated $2 million to the family before, but I guess they still want more of his money, and now will be officially requesting $250 million because they got their feelings hurt by his opinions and assertions. All of this as we have another domestic bombshell story here in the United States, as we're finding out today that the FBI last April has raided the home of an ABC journalist, James Gordon Meek, who was just finishing up a book about the failed Biden policies, particularly in Afghanistan. He's been charged with no crimes. He resigned from his job, and no one has seen him since the FBI raided his home. Now, what happened to this Emmy-winning producer, this mainstream corporate news reporter? Well, again, we don't know. Maybe something personally happened in his life. A lot of people are pointing to conspiracies. And hey, let's be honest here, with the way that the U.S. federal government has become politicized, especially with unleashing the fangs of the Department of Justice and the FBI on any critics of its regime, we have to understand here, anything here is plausible. We don't know what happened here, but we hope that we soon will get answers to what is going on with James Gordon Meek. Did he get too close at exposing more corruption inside of the White House? Did he just decide to leave and live in Mexico? Who knows? But we deserve to have answers, and I think it's fair to be conspiracy-minded, especially with the way that the current political establishment has been acting, in a way that's actually been a lot more nefarious than you could even imagine, which, of course, we will be talking about later on today on Luke Uncensored.com. If you haven't joined yet, what are you waiting for? Just simply click the link down in the description below. Click this link, put in your information, and you are emailed login credentials, and you get access to new exclusive videos almost every single day, just made for you as a member. 3 masterclasses, exclusive merchandise, and a forum where we are discussing a lot of very interesting things, and soon we'll be conducting an AMA where you guys will be asking me questions that I will have to answer. Gladly so. The conversations are riveting. It's awesome to be a part of this community, and if you want to be a part of a community building and growing and trying to expand and do the best for each other, well, check out LukeUncensored.com, especially the forum, as there are some really awesome conversations happening in there that are pretty cool and pretty awesome to take part in. See you there right after this video. Now, I think it's fair to say that the current situation in Ukraine is absolutely insane. And I've been monitoring the situation very closely since the very beginning. And when U.S. military experts and the corporate media was telling you it's all going to be over in 2 weeks, I was telling you this could literally last a decade, if not more. And with the way that this conflict is building up, yes, there's a big potential for that to happen. But as of right now, it looks like there's going to be a major battle in the south of Ukraine, specifically in Kherson, a major battle that we haven't seen the scale of for many years now, as of course the Ukrainians are trying to take that city. The Russians are bunkering down, digging in, and preparing to fight. This as the Russians now are evacuating the citizens of Kherson right now as we are speaking, making sure that all innocent civilians are leaving the area, as of course it will be a major battlefront that we will be keeping a very close eye on from now on. Who's calling the shots on the Russian front lines here? Well, of course, someone deemed General Armageddon. Yes, that's his nickname. He's a feared commander who usually depends on missile strikes, and of course he will be the one calling the shots with this upcoming major battle and offensive. And I have to say, if Kherson falls from the Russians, the possibility of a nuclear weapon being used, I think, only escalates from here, as of course Kherson is the city north of Crimea that the Russians are going to be protecting. This as already the Daily Mail is running headlines like this, saying, quote, "What happens if a nuke falls?" And quote, "Where would you stand best chances of surviving?" Highlighting the severity severity of this situation, as I think it's fair to say that the chances, if Kherson falls, of a nuclear war increases from 10 and 25% where it is right now to, of course, a way bigger estimate. All of this is happening as, of course, Vladimir Putin has just declared martial law in the 4 captured regions that, of course, his army is currently in. Russia is also launching a major offensive against the Ukrainian energy infrastructure, already knocking out 1 of 3 power stations in that country with more missile assaults on their infrastructure, which, of course, is going to have a devastating effect towards their larger war effort. Again, the situation there is pretty crazy. The footage I'm seeing from that specific region is that there's a lot of drone-on-drone combat, specifically in this theater of war that is representing a larger proxy war between the East and the West. All of this is happening as, of course, the United States is pledging full support for Ukraine, as even anti-war, anti-establishment representative figures like AOC is calling critics of her as, quote, parading around pro-Putin talking points when criticizing her and the squad of approving billions of dollars in new weapons contracts. All of this as the New York Post recently launched a very interesting article that was titled, U.S. military rated as weak may not be able to win one war as tensions grow with China and Russia, specifically detailing not only the low recruitment rates, but also with a lot of significant military hardware being sent over to Ukraine, a lack of proper hardware here in the United States. This is all allegedly to the Conservative Heritage Foundation and its annual Index of U.S. Military Strength report. And are they correct with their original assessment here? Well, it's hard to tell, to be truly honest with you, but of course there's a lot of other things at play here that I think do deserve to be talked about. As of course there's a lot of corruption, there's a lot of nepotism, there's a lot of people literally stealing from American taxpayer coffers to finance themselves in the larger Ponzi scheme that is only being enabled by the U.S. Pentagon. As of course, time by time we have been documenting illicit, illegal, absolutely insane projects that the Pentagon has funded that clearly show a high level of corruption. Today, we got another perspective on this, specifically as we found out today that American taxpayers are funding China's hypersonic missiles after a new report came out by the Washington Post uncovered evidence that more than 300 sales of U.S. origin technology to dozens of entities predominantly involved Chinese hypersonic missiles. Again, there's a specific law that doesn't allow companies to sell technology to China for their missile programs, and it looks like that's exactly what was happening here. As of course, the United States and China are involved in a hypersonic arms race, and if China is just buying up the technology after research and development was financed by the U.S. taxpayers, this is clear levels of just nasty corruption that highlights how there needs to be more accountability, more transparency at the Pentagon, which there clearly is a major lack of. Meanwhile, it's important to note here that Russia is working with China on research and developments when it comes to modern warfare, with Putin's recent declaration of martial law, with him boosting up his war footing, with him setting up all priorities for this specific next upcoming conflict in Kherson. What's going to be developing? What's going to be happening next? Well, we don't know yet. There's a lot of moving parts here. Expect a lot of October surprises. Expect a lot of nonsense. Expect just an haywire of the situation that is only going to get a lot more crazier from here. I hope you guys are prepared, and a lot of this is just my own personal perspective and opinion. If you thought I was wrong, let me know why in the comment section below. I always appreciate constructive criticism. I always appreciate the ability to see things from a different perspective and a different understanding that I wouldn't naturally see myself. And this is why I can't thank you guys enough for being a part of this broadcast, sharing this video, and of course being here all the way up until the end. This is why I love you guys. Thank you again so much for watching. Stay tuned for more here on youtube.com/wearechange. One more video right now available for you on lukeuncensored.com. See you there.